Don't get too comfortable with the video title though. It might as well be clickbait. Who knows? Let me tell you a short story. For more than 2,000 years, that's you and Jesus mera dost. Until the 19th century, India was the largest economy in the world. During the Mughal rule in India, Indian economy alone accounted for more than 25% of the world's economy. The Mughals did so many awesome things. Remember this guy? Emperor Aurangzeb, anyone? Then came the British. With them came more deaths, more poverty, and more hunger. You know, we could have a whole Indian festival where we talk about Churchill versus Hitler. India's share of the world economy declined from 24% in 1700s down to 4% in 1950. All they did in their 200 years in India was plunder. The British sucked India dry amidst their violent genocides and the many, many deliberate famines. There's Shashi Tharoor's video on that. Let's not get hung up here too much. Aptly, they are the masters of loot. You never forget your past experience with the bloody British simply because they speak English. Don't be racist though. Many British you might encounter might not know anything about colonialism. That's all right, they're good people. A protectionist economic policy was implemented during the Nehru government as a result of colonial experience after the independence. Economic growth post-independence up to 1991 was not doing all that well. During P.V. Narasimha Rao government in 1991, several economic reforms were initiated. Rao should be a national hero in India today. The reforms did away with the license Raj, all of that atrocious system of licenses and regulations that hindered businesses in India, reduced tariffs and interest rates, and ended many public monopolies, allowing automatic approval of foreign direct investment in many sectors. The economy was liberalized and GDP grew exponentially, almost doubling every 5 years. India experienced high growth rates, averaging 9% from 2003 to 2007. And by 2015, for the first time since 1990, India grew faster than China, which registered 6.9% growth. Wow, China! Where have we seen this? PUBG? TikTok? Then came Modi. The growth rate subsequently deaccelerated to 7.1%, and then 6.6%. in 2016 through 2017 and 2017 through 2018, respectively. I'm going to talk about where we are in terms of economic growth situations presently. This will be brief. Will India be able to take over China or the US soon, say in 30 years, in terms of economic power? Keep watching the video as I take you along the data and situations that we are currently in, the deep shit that we're currently in. Narendra Modi vowed a $5 trillion economy by 2025 when he came to power. But that turned out to be a dream, a wet dream actually. Even the pre-COVID estimates for 2025 do not come close to that. The pandemic has already cut more than $300 billion. Look at this data from IMF. GDP continues to fall while inflation rises. You seriously cannot blame COVID alone here.
To break the grip of corruption and black money.
On November 8, 2016, 86% of cash in India had been rendered worthless in one night. I mean, the RBI had spent more than 3,000 crore rupees to print banknotes in 2015 to 2016. People died due to that atrociously disruptive move. We've seen it.
Presently in use will no longer be legal tender.
It was a move to, as the Prime Minister said, curb black money. Despite everything, banknotes worth $107 billion were not deposited to the banks. So, black money, not removed. $1.5 million jobs were lost. It spelled the first doom of the economic shutdown in 2019. Then, when we thought everything could not possibly get worse than it already was, one of the most complex tax reforms in the world was introduced on July 1st, 2017. Goods and Services Tax, also known as GST, was expected to solve the cumbersome tax system in India. Let me tell you something. Less than 2% of Indians pay tax income. GST hit businesses really hard. 75 million people went from manageable to poor during the COVID recession. In January 2021, nearly 1 year into the pandemic, the World Bank revised the growth estimates downward to minus 9.6% for India. 25 million people have lost their jobs since the start of 2021. That's the highest it's been in 45 years. The Make in India initiative of the government aims to create 100 million additional manufacturing jobs in the economy by 2022. It has not yet achieved its goal. The growth rate of manufacturing averaged 6.9% per annum between 2014 and 2015 and 2019 through 2020. The share of manufacturing dropped from 16.3% of GDP in 2014 to 2015 to 15.1% in 2019 through 2020. Exports have been stagnant for nearly a decade at around $300 billion. One very laudable move the government has succeeded in is the payment system. The Instant Real-Time Payment System, UPI, has a monthly volume of more than 2 billion transactions today. Most Indians now have a bank account. Speaking of accounts, healthcare spending in India is abysmal at the moment. In the budget for 2021, India's public expenditure on healthcare stood at 1.2% as a percentage of the GDP. So how do we undo these slumps? Now, Indians have to realize that more than 50% of the total 1.3 billion people in India are under the age of 25. That's a good thing for us, right? Totally. So, good luck, kids. India seriously depends on you. You must know that. Don't fritter away the time you have in your hands now. Maybe, an insatiable love for India might hit you later. I don't know. I know despite every problem we face, we all love our country. You have to know that only the continent of Africa exceeds the linguistic, genetic, and cultural diversity of the nation of India. With more than 500 million workers, the Indian labor force is the world's second largest. There are a lot of billionaires in India right now, and extreme income inequality. 54% of the total wealth in India is controlled by millionaires. 1% of Indians own 58% of the wealth. According to some estimates, given the right exchange rates, consumers in India will likely have more purchasing power than consumers in the US by 2040. That's right, only 20 years from now. So what can you do to make that happen? Nothing. Or, except maybe through your votes, we should vote for sensible governments that will implement reforms and improve our macroeconomic fundamentals and institutions. Our businesses need to adopt dynamic and flexible strategies to navigate the rapidly evolving markets. Whoa, using dynamic in a sentence like that really makes it, more entrepreneurial and businesslike, right? Kind of like using holistic in natural and organic medicine. Anyways, we are a nation of 1.3 billion. How we rise and prosper as a nation will be totally different from any nation you've seen. You live with 2,000 other ethnic groups here in India. We can do anything. So let's believe in ourselves. Let's not rely too much on the past. Let's not do the land where zero comes from or shit like that. They're great. You'll probably hate me for saying this, but what the heck? Stop needing validation from foreigners. What are you? You are what you are. Hitler borrowed the peaceful swastika from us, for Christ's sake. Literally, you probably know more about them than they know about us. Be proud of where you come from. Reaction videos, seriously? You are beautiful and you are able. What you put into India today, what you create here today, will fundamentally change India for your children. Singles don't have a chance here. Now singles get lost. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Subscribe to the channel. 3-3 is from Manipur. Support us when you can. We are 3 people working on these useless videos and some other stuff. Love us?